Obviously, this is a very important issue for which I think my citizens, one of another coalesce around. I've often spoken about the evolvement of a political class in Zimbabwe. Uh, you know, Tichibva from the liberation into the new Zimbabwe, obviously prosecuted on an elite basis. Those that knew that could rally people around a cause were able to do it, and kudos to them for that wonderful work that they did. But what we did not watch for in this whole process is the emergence of a political class, uh, which I think, in my view, is what our problem is. We've had a constitution which was a rigorous process, and a document of compromise which we did in 2013. One of the key issues that we were raising in that, or one of the key issues of discussion, one of the central issues, were to do with term limits and how to secure future possible moves to change those things. And I think the framers of the constitution did a wonderful job to try to in terms of the drafting of the law itself. I know people may be finding loopholes, but I think they tried to close the gaps, and also in the spirit of this whole thing. But now the emergency, or the emergence of a political class, and I'm not talking about a party here, a political class that takes politics as an end in itself, that takes politics as a career, who would not want to give up power. And I've seen this across the board. It's not just in one political party. They would not want to give up power. They will find ways of re-engineering their stay and their hold to power. This is a problem across. And one of the things I've mentioned also is to do with how we have structured the post life of current politicians, or politicians that of the day. What are sort of their pathways beyond politics? So we have a system which seeks to hunt down political actors from the moment that they seem powerless, or they are separated from power. And that system we have to come to an agreement of some sort as a nation, to provide a pathway for careers beyond politics, because this is where the fear comes from. When one is in power today, they are going to look for ways to consolidate that power, to continue in power, regardless of the fact that it might come back to hurt their kids. But for as long as, for now, I am covered, yeah, that kind of mentality is what is informing these things. So behind this, I don't see progressiveness. What I see is fear. It's the politics of fear, politics governed by what shall become of us beyond the president's term. The president has expressly made it clear before, because he himself feels that he is going to be safe beyond his career. So he's never had really the reason to want to be pursuing this, from where I stand. But the hawks around, some of the hardliners around him, and obviously the tied business interests uh, around this whole thing, that creation of this political class, and the mingling, it becomes an elite class which doesn't want to give up power. It's the thing that we need to solve. So we may look at this as persons and things like that, but I think if we look at the structure of our politics, and we look at this issue from a structural point of view, and begin to solve those issues, those points of fear, and those things that one can see a transition from politics in back into civil life, with their assets protected, with their careers, with their prospects beyond politics protected, and not a way to hunt them down when they are when they are separated from power. I think those are some of the issues we need to solve. Now, coming to this whole issue of the constitution, the idea that moved, one of the key ideas that moved the need for a new constitution had to do with term limits, right? And this is it was a common issue among us ZANU-PF political actors and among us, opposition political actors. Those who were in ZANU-PF were also waiting for the SITMOS, and they'd been waiting for so long, though they were chanting slogans and doing all these things to say they are but deep inside they too wanted power, and they'd been waiting for so long. And there were all kinds of maneuvers. If you remember, prior 2017, the maneuvers that were happening within ZANU-PF, and it not only was inside ZANU-PF, it went beyond ZANU-PF into even oppositional politics. It is the thing that was dictating the political temperature and atmosphere at that time: succession. So it was a common issue which political actors agreed on, and they went to the people, and the people said, that's the way they've structured is the way we want. Now, fast forward to today, we have a group of people that are now pushing this thing. The reasons, as I've stated, some of it it's mostly fear, and some of it has to do with a structure, or a political structure which does not guarantee the post life of politicians in a manner that gives them confidence that they can actually transition. So those are some of the issues broadly that we need to solve before we reduce this thing to one political party or to a group of people. We need to actively engage on those things. So I don't know how this whole thing is going to be structured, but one of the things that we must continue to stress is that this is a key decision that must go to referendum. And I think I foresee 2 referendums. We must continue to stay with the in the spirit of the framers of the constitution, in that any term limit must not benefit the incumbent. Those are the things that we should continue to stay with. Not that I've heard the arguments that yes, these things can be changed, which is true. Constitution is it's a document which is subject to many other developments that happen from its crafting to to the future. So that is a proper argument. But we have sought to make sure that certain changes to the constitutions must be necessary and must be separated from the politics of the day, so that they are not influenced by interests, by narrow interests of few individuals, but by the interests of the public. That's why we said, that's why the constitution says any term limit change must not benefit the incumbent. Those were structural issues that and key issues of around term limits that we enshrined in the constitution. We must continue to be non-negotiable on those matters. I think that's it. From where I stand, that's where. But broadly, we need to have an engagement on some of these issues that cause people to want to move these agendas in this way. Thank you.